Monday, October the 30th, 2017, to you. Around 800,000 years ago, our planet was a different world. First thought, we human beings were not there. It was another geography. There were other trees. It was another vegetation. In that world, wild beasts like mammoths, smelatons, and our ape-like ancestors used to roam freely in the fields. Finally, Mr. Paul Manafort, Mr. Trump's former campaign manager, was charged with conspiracy, but I'm not going to write about that. It turns out that Mr. Peter Madsen effectively killed and dismembered Mrs. Kim Wall in Copenhagen, but I'm not going to write about that. Former Catalan President Mr. Carles Puigdemont sought political asylum in Brussels, but I'm not going to write about that. Instead, I will refer to an ominous, even somber, WMO World Meteorological Organization report published today. Concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere surged in 2016 to its highest level in 800,000 years, back when the aforementioned beasts existed. According to the bulletin, CO2 levels reached 403.3 parts per million, up from 400 ppm in 2015. Dr. Oksana Tarasova, head of WMO's Global Atmosphere Watch program, said it was the largest increase in the 30 years they have had their network. Concentrations of CO2 are now 145% of pre-industrial before 1750 levels. Furthermore, those levels can only be comparable to those of 3 to 5 million years ago, when temperatures was 2 to 3 degrees centigrade, 3 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit warmer, and sea level was 10 to 20 meters, 30 to 60 feet higher than now. The dramatic increase was caused by human activity and a strong El Niño climate pattern, which triggered droughts which limit the uptake of CO2 by plants and trees. This means bad news for humanity. It is not that states should join the Paris Agreement. What is really disturbing is that Paris itself is not enough to curtail CO2 emissions to the atmosphere. And wait, there is more. While our attention was focused on CO2, atmospheric methane, CH4, also reached a new high. CH4 level reached 1,853 parts per billion, ppb, in 2016, 257% of the pre-industrial levels. That is a terrible piece of news. Such a rapid increase in methane was not expected in the Paris Agreement. Its causes remain mysterious. Experts fear that methane is driving up temperatures, which in turn releases more methane from its natural sources. In short, humanity must reach a more extensive agreement. National states have to pursue a better, deeper agenda in order to tackle greenhouse gas emissions. The issue is that it is a collective decision which affects people who are not born yet, so they cannot vote. Another problem lies in our technology. Green technology must become cost-effective. Therefore, it has to be cheaper and affordable for economic agents. I do not seek our species to live 800,000 years, but surely I do not want to be here if it becomes extinct. The world is still on.